Hello there, everyone. If you're watching this video, then you are part of the TTOR army, an army that is building itself up one subscriber at a time. And before we get into the topic of today's video, well, I have to tell you about something very, very important. And that thing is Quarter. Quarter is an open source alt-tech alternative to YouTube that I started about a month ago. It's very similar to YouTube, not just in terms of its user interface and layout, but also in terms of its features and functionality. Just about every feature that you could want from YouTube or any similar site, Quarter has it. And it even has features that YouTube doesn't have, like an open source chat room where you can do not only video chats with people, but you can also live stream to your channel from them. And there's also Quarter Bucks, which is an in-site currency that allows users to promote their own channels and videos instead of people like me or any other moderators on Quarter taking any kind of editorial stance on who gets to be promoted and who doesn't. So that's why you should join and use Quarter today, especially if you're a content creator. Hopefully I will see you on Quarter soon. And if you're watching this video, today is Independence Day, at least in the United States of America it is. So if you're an American watching this, happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. It's a very special day indeed. And today is also going to mark the end of an era as far as YouTube goes. At least the end of an era for me. Today, David Wood is going to get rid of his YouTube channel. So you can see his channel right here on the screen. David Wood has been on YouTube since 2009, and at this point he has over 705,000 subscribers, which is funny because 6 years ago David said that you could never get popular being a Christian apologist on the internet, and yet here he sits today with over 700,000 subs to his YouTube channel. And if you go to his About page, you see that there's over 173 million total video views. David Wood has become a popular YouTuber doing Christian apologetics. It took him 13 years to do it, but he did it. He's been very successful at what he does. And it's really sad that David is going to get rid of his YouTube channel. But he's doing it for a good reason. If you watch his more recent videos, you'll see that the reason why he's getting rid of his YouTube channel is because he's tired of dealing with YouTube censorship, and he wanted to create a system where he could upload his videos to a platform that he controls and then have the videos be seeded out to other sites from his own platform. So that way, even if his videos get censored on other sites, he still has his own platform that the videos originate from, and those can't be censored because he controls that site. So that is what David is doing, and that's why he feels comfortable in getting rid of his YouTube channel. So at 5 p.m. on July 4th, which is in about less than 7 hours now, David Wood is going to delete all of the videos off of his channel, and he's going to pass on his channel to Hatun Tash, which is a lady who's had multiple Qurans stolen from her by Muslims over in Britain, including one that David Wood himself personally made for her and gave to her. So yes, David Wood's going to give her his channel and delete all of his videos, and from now on, the Acts 17 Apologetics channel is going to be Hatun Tash's channel, and David is going to be in other places. Now, I remember back in 2014 when I first came across David Wood. It was back when he was in the middle of uploading all of his Muhammad versus Jesus shows, where him and Sam Shamoon were doing responses to people. Like they had their response series to Yusha Evans about why Jesus is not God, and they debunked all his reasons for why Jesus wasn't God. And then they did a 5 or 6 part video series where they gave 10 reasons in each video why the Prophet Muhammad was not actually a prophet. I really loved those videos back in the day when I first came across them, and I watched them many times. And then I started watching David's vlogs on his channel, and I thought, wow, this guy's really good. I'm just going to follow all of his content. And back then, he had around like 45, 50,000 subscribers, something like that. He wasn't nearly as popular as he is now. And then over the years, I watched David Wood go from being, a YouTuber with some following to being a popular YouTuber. I mean, most people on YouTube would love to have as many subscribers and views on their videos in general as David has been getting for years. He's become quite the popular content creator. But YouTube censorship is a thing that's really bad, has been going on for 6 to 8 years, depending upon where you want to make the starting point at. But it's been going on for at least 6 years, and yeah, YouTube's just not a great long-term option for content creators. So people like David are making their own platforms that they control so that YouTube can no longer censor them, even if they're not allowed to exist on YouTube anymore. And, I get that. I get why David made his own platform that he controls. As a matter of fact, that's the right thing to do. We're getting to the point where it's getting really hard to trust other people, especially when you have an alt-tech community full of lying grifters who promise you freedom of speech with their websites, but then as soon as they get millions of people using their sites, they start doing all the same stuff that YouTube does in terms of AI censorship systems and draconian community guidelines and all the other stuff about YouTube that we don't like. So yeah, I get why David would make his own platform at this point, because you can't trust the other ones that are claiming to be these free speech alternatives to YouTube. That's the same logic behind why I made Creation Social my Facebook alternative and why I made Quarter my YouTube alternative. I made those because ultimately I don't trust anyone but myself when it comes to freedom of speech. So I made my own platforms where I know that I'll be in control and I'll guarantee my right to speak freely, and I give other people the opportunity to do the same by allowing them to join. And I think David is going to do the same thing with his website, although he's geared more towards the Christian content creator community than just the general public like I am, which is fine. That's totally fine. So what he's been working on the past few months is working on the redesign of his website, which you can see right here. And if you go to the community tab on his site, this is where you'll be able to access David Wood's new social media site, which is geared towards his own followers and community. I think you can try it for free, but you have to pay a membership price at some point. I don't know what the price is because I haven't tried signing up. I probably will shortly after this video comes out. And yeah, it's interesting that David has actually taken the initiative to create his own social media site. According to him, it's based on a Facebook-style site, so you have a lot of the same features you would see in something like Facebook. And kudos to David for taking initiative. Of course, the one critique I have of what he did is that he said that in order to create a site that had all this back-end security that's pretty much unhackable and DDoS attacks can't slow it down, that he basically had to enter into a contract with this company that requires him to charge a monthly fee for users to access his social media site. My critique of that is you don't need to spend money and get into contracts like that in order to make your site uncensorable. Case in point with Quarter, we have DDoS protection and ultimately hack protection by Crowdsec, which if I'd stop loading up videos, there you go. Yeah, so we use Crowdsec over on Quarter, and that by itself is one of the greatest protections that you can give your websites for protection from DDoS attacks on a large scale and hacks and all that stuff. Now, it's not perfect. I mean, there's always the off chance that an Olympian level hacker can pull off the greatest hack job ever and get through Crowdsec, but most large-scale attacks and large-scale hacking attempts and large-scale DDoS attacks are completely shut down almost immediately by Crowdsec. So, yeah, David was kind of hoodwinked into that one where, oh yeah, you got to spend all this money in order to get awesome back-end security for your website. And in turn, you need to charge people money in order to cover that cost. And you charge them money to use the site in order to cover that cost, I should say. So David did get a little hoodwinked by that one. But you know, it's been a wild ride watching D Wood, watching him become popular, and even though he's put out a lot of great content over the years, I would actually argue that my favorite David Wood videos are his older ones. The stuff he was putting out at the end of 2010, in 2011, and in 2012, those are some of my favorite ones of all time, like ABC's Islam Deception Part 4, Muhammad and Religious Tolerance, the Sharia America video about Islam, Obama, and the Establishment Clause, his Welcome to Sharia Tube video, Who Killed Muhammad, Does Allah Commit Shirk, Islam's Secret Santa, Does a Quran Error, Does the Sun Set in a Muddy Pool, Surah 1886, Whitewashing Islam, 20 Errors on 2020, ABC News, 3 Stages of Jihad, Quran in Context, Fight Those Who Do Not Believe in Allah. Stuff like that from back in the day are some of my favorite David Wood videos. Then, of course, if you go all the way to 2016, what you find is David Wood putting out a whole slew of videos that were just absolute gold. Absolute gold when they came out. And you can see it here with videos like fact-checking Sam Harris 2, Did Jesus Command to Kill in Luke 19:27, Muhammad the White Prophet with Black Slaves, fact-checking 10 Lies You Were Told About Islam series, the fact-checking Reza Aslan, Love Your Neighbor as Yourself video, Islam, the world's fastest growing religion, 3 Quran verses every woman should know, the truth about Ramadan, and then the 3 questions for moderate Muslims, and the Feel the Love Ramadan edition, and the Sheepgate Conspiracy, Dealing with Death Threats, France's Recipe for Endless Islamic Terror, and then other stuff like France Sacrifices Priest on the Altar of Tolerance. And pretty much almost everything in the summer of 2016 that David put out was golden. So even though David's a great creator, has gotten super popular, and he generally puts out high quality content all the time, my favorite David Wood videos for me to watch are the ones he was putting out in 2010, 2011, 2012, and in the summer of 2016. Those videos, to me, represent the best of David Wood, a man who literally for years was just sitting in his bedroom with a camcorder or camera of some kind aimed at him, and he would talk about Islam and expose all of the horrible problems that it has as far as its religious doctrine goes, and how basically all the horrible things jihadi terrorists are doing come straight from Islam, its teachings. David, by himself, in his bedroom with a camera, caused more problems for the jihadis and the Islamic community as far as maintaining their narratives and convincing people that Islam is true and you should join it. David has done more to disrupt and destroy Islam than just about anyone in history, at least as far as the internet goes. And because of people like D. Wood, other content creators have risen up to cover the same topics, and now there's an incredible apostasy going on in Islamic countries because of the internet and people like David Wood. So, yeah, I have mad respect for David Wood, even though there's some things of his that I don't agree with him on, such as Origins, and even though his argument regarding paganism and Islam could actually be used against him because he allowed his wife once to come on his channel to declare that it was okay for Christianity to appropriate pagan traditions because it purified the traditions when they were integrated into Christianity. He never did apologize for that or backtrack on that or do anything to remove that content. So technically, a smart Muslim could expose him for that. But aside from those few things, David Wood, for the most part, has put out amazing content over the years. He's one of the best content creators there is on the internet as far as personality goes and humor goes and providing references to support his points goes. Yeah, he's done a great job for many, many years, and I wish David the best of luck on his endeavors with starting his own social media site, running his own video platform, which is something he's talking about doing. And I look forward to seeing what he does from here on out. But today is definitely the end of one era and the beginning of another. The end of the David Wood as a YouTuber era is upon us. It's happening today. And the beginning of the new David Wood era, where he basically controls his own little media empire and social media sites, that begins today, too. Looking forward to seeing how that goes. And David and his followers are more than welcome to join Quarter, because Quarter is the YouTube alternative that people claim that they want. You get the YouTube experience as far as look and features and functionality, but you don't have any of the bad parts about YouTube, like the censorship and the AI systems and algorithms and all of that stuff. So David and his followers are more than welcome to join Quarter, and hopefully some of them do. And I look forward to seeing what happens to all of us over the next few years.